your nonprofit's board members' eyes glazing over during board meetings? Are they constantly checking their phones or asking questions that were already answered? You might be diagnosed with boring board meetings. And that's no good, because boring board meetings have an impact outside of the meetings themselves. When board members are disengaged, they might lack confidence to go fundraise or go help find supporters, contribute to a culture of disengagement or low morale across the organization, or miss critical information required as board members to help the organization survive and thrive. Stay tuned, because in this episode of Changemaker Cafe, I'm going to share some of my best tips and lessons learned from being a part of or leading over 200 nonprofit board meetings. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content on nonprofits, fundraising, and more. And thanks to Click and Pledge for sponsoring this video. So I'm going to share 6 tips in particular that have really come out of seeing what has worked and what hasn't worked in both my own organization and a few others that I've participated in as a board member. And as I go through these, I'm really interested in hearing what your top board engagement challenges might be, and if more content about these topics might be helpful to you. So be sure to let me know in the comments. The first tip is really about what happens before the board meeting. You want to set your board meeting up for success by preparing your board members for it in advance. The idea here is you want to keep as much of the board meeting open for discussion about important things like strategy and high-level stuff as possible, not going over all the minutiae and details of stuff. Still, it's the board's job to stay informed about the organization's financial health and any program updates on a regular basis. So what you want to do here is prepare your financial statements and maybe a quick executive summary or document highlighting any other important updates at least 5 to 7 days ahead, and request that everyone come to the meeting having already read those updates and prepared their questions about them. In fact, you might also include 2 to 3 questions of your own in that pre-read email, so board members arrive ready to discuss, not just listen. Questions might include stuff like, after reviewing the budget versus the actuals, which expense area do you think offers the greatest opportunity for cost savings without harming our mission? Or something like, here's a list of our top donor prospects. Do any of you know them and could make a personal introduction? Or one of my favorites, if a friend asked you about our biggest challenge right now as an organization, how would you answer? I really like that one because you can get a good read, not just on what your actual challenges may be, but also on what people perceive your challenges to be, which gives you clues about what might need clarifying information out there in the world. Are you sending out pre-reads when you're doing your board meetings? I'm curious. Let me know what you normally include. Sometimes it's really just important to remind everyone why you're all there in the first place. So this tip is all about sharing what we call a mission moment at the beginning of every board meeting. We did this in my board meetings and also in our staff meetings, and I really do think it made a big difference. These mission moments can be a short, inspiring story or like a client testimonial or a quick program update. It has to be something about your organization that really made an impact recently. If you have time, you can go further. You could share visuals like photos of an event or something cool that happened, or videos, or maybe even have a guest speaker like a client who recently received beneficial support from your organization. These mission moments really serve 2 purposes. As I said, it reminds board members why they are there, the whole mission of the organization, but also hearing these stories and updates increases their confidence as ambassadors. Every time a board member hears a story about how your organization made a difference, they're able to then go out there and repeat that story to others when talking about the organization. This gives them a sense of pride and increases the odds that they're going to talk to others about the work of the organization. Quick pro tip here, you want to rotate who is presenting the mission moment at the meetings. That way, board members can share their own connections to the mission and have a little moment in the spotlight too. Ever tried to schedule a special training for board members outside of a regular scheduled board meeting? I have. Getting people to devote extra time can be really challenging. Still, board members come into your organization with wildly varying degrees of knowledge and skills. They might not even have prior nonprofit experience at all and not know how any of that works. So, building in some training for your board members really is a good idea. The third tip I have here is to devote 15 to 30 minutes of each board meeting with some kind of like brief interactive micro training lesson. This is especially a great way to sneak in some of that fundraising training because we know from the data and also anecdotally that the thing board members are most afraid of is fundraising. Let me know if you can relate. Some ideas for interactive micro trainings might include sharing a how to kick off a conversation with a future donor conversation script, and then you have your board members role play donor conversations out with each other to practice. You might also have a guest speaker from another nonprofit come in to share how they successfully did something relevant to your own organization's work, like how they've used social media to drive awareness. One of the most impactful trainings we ever did at my own organization is when we had another nonprofit's board members come in and explain their strategies for raising a lot of money during a special campaign. There's just something really effective about showing people what's possible by showing what other real-life board members can accomplish. Another idea is to hold a mock debate where board members practice discussing a challenging dilemma for your nonprofit, something that it could face in the future, like whether to accept a donation from a corporation whose values don't align with your organization or other topics. I'm really curious what other ideas you have. If there are specific topics you wish you could train your board members on, maybe I'll come up with some materials for you. Let me know in the comments. You really need your board members to be awesome ambassadors for your organization and support your fundraising. And one thing that makes that easier is a fundraising platform with a ton of features to help your board members share your nonprofit's fundraising campaigns and help raise money. So it's a great time to thank the sponsor of this video, Click and Pledge. With Click and Pledge, you're going to get a robust dashboard where you can plan fundraising campaigns and monitor your progress. You'll get highly customizable donation forms so you can match the branding of your organization, in-person fundraising features, peer-to-peer fundraising, which is huge right now, that allows supporters to form teams and raise money in their own networks. You can do video fundraising with donation links embedded directly in the videos. You've got text to give features, personalized donor outreach tools to improve donor retention, a complete Salesforce integration, lots of other integrations, and more. Now, here's the thing. Some platforms charge more based on your organization's size. So as you raise more, it costs more. Click and Pledge doesn't do that. The pricing is going to stay the same even as your donor list increases. Nonprofits really appreciate how there are no contracts and all of their solutions are included at no extra cost. You can learn more about Click and Pledge's fundraising solutions and get your first $25 monthly fee waived using the link below this video or the QR code here. Get in contact with their team to ask questions or schedule a demo or sign up to give it a try right now and let me know what you think. All right, fourth tip here. It's important to give each individual board member an opportunity to shine, kind of like what I was saying earlier. One way you can do this is at each meeting, showcase a board member's recent win. It might be a fundraising win or an outreach win or a program win. It can really be anything. For example, this month, Pamela introduced us to a new corporate sponsor. Thank you, Pamela. Doing this creates a little friendly peer pressure and models good behavior. Other board members think, well, so-and-so did it, so I can do that too. You can also do this by celebrating personal stuff like acknowledging milestones like birthdays or work anniversaries or big life events. This really builds camaraderie and loyalty, and it's tempting to think that boards should just be all business all the time. But remember, at the heart of nonprofit work is human beings, and everyone wants to feel like they belong, and this can really help. Okay, sometimes the easiest way to inspire action from board members is simply to ask them, but here is the catch. You have to make your ask hyper specific, clear, and actually achievable in a short period of time, such as over the course of a few weeks in between board meetings. This is our fifth tip for engaging board members during meetings. You don't want to say, who can help with this fundraising event this month, or go find us donors. That's too vague. Instead, you want to ask, who can reach out to the 4 potential sponsors for our fundraising event on this list in the next 2 weeks. You see the difference? If you're familiar with SMART goals, it's following that model. A few more examples of clear, specific, and achievable asks might include stuff like, we have 12 open sponsorship slots for our gala. Who can take a couple of outreach calls this week? Or who has time to review our grant application this week and give us feedback? Or maybe we still need 10 volunteers for our event next month. Can someone reach out to our partners and try to recruit some help? 6th, and finally, you want to end your board meetings absolutely sure that everyone knows the following things: what's going on in the organization, why it's important, and what they're supposed to do next. You can do this by recapping a mission moment or sharing another impact resulting from the board's decision making. For example, because we voted to expand our after-school program today, 50 more kids will have a safe place to go next semester. Aw. Summarizing major decisions, assignments like who agreed to take on what, and the deadlines for those assignments before adjourning the meeting is important. You might give a few moments for final questions so you can make sure that every board member leaves knowing exactly what they should be doing to advance the mission and is clear on all that it entails. So I'm curious, have you tried any of these types of techniques? What worked? What didn't? What other ideas have you tried to make your nonprofit board meetings engaging and purposeful? Love to see them. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this gave you a new idea for board members, do me a favor and hit like on this video and subscribe to the channel. This really helps YouTube show the video to more people, and I want more nonprofit leaders to be able to see this. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next episode, as I said, and don't forget you can always get more content in my free weekly newsletter and resources on my website, changemakercafe.com. I'll see you later.